Hello, my name is Jan Mattes. I'm Chief Product Manager for SAP Business by Design, and I now will give you an overview about Business by Design today and tomorrow, including our new roadmap for October 2020. So you need to be aware that all forward-looking statements are subject to change and various risks, so you cannot rely on my forward-looking statements. Nevertheless, I will be having a couple of interesting perspectives about the future for you. So where are we standing as of today? ByDesign has never been more significant for SAP than nowadays. We've been growing significantly. ByDesign has almost 8,400 customers with a growth rate year over year of almost 30%. And our customers are doing very well. That's basically depicted by the number of transactions which are in all of our systems: 8.3 million production orders, 1.8 million customer projects, and the confidence of our partners and customers that we will grow and continue growing that way is high. As you can see here by the number of learners, beginning of this year, we had something like 96,000 learners for our open SAP courses. Now we have 126,000 learners. And the number is growing, especially the number for the certification trainings is really way higher than 30%, sometimes up to 70%. So ByDesign is the net new growth engine of SAP when it comes to cloud ERP. What is our focus and what has been our roadmap in the past? You are aware we are coming since 2007 from the sweet spot of supporting service-centric businesses. Project-based services and standardized services is the area where we are coming from. And our direction is, since a couple of releases, the product-centric industries. Here, we want to enable more agile production and logistics. And that is basically our main way forward. And you have seen us investing significantly also in 2020 into that. But most remarkable is also a pattern that we see with many of our customers. There is a convergence between the service-centric industries and the product-centric industries, which mainly deliver materials. But it's not that simple anymore. Companies delivering materials also need to provide service and maintain big machineries they might be selling to their customers. And the opposite is also the case. Service-centric industries and businesses deliver materials right at the start to execute their projects. And that is basically what we can cover very well. There are not so many ERPs out there in the world which really can claim that they can serve also for the convergent service and product-centric businesses. How are we finding out what direction to go? Well, of course, it is our deliberate decision to decide we focus on product-centric industries for the next releases, but basically what to do in detail, that is very much influenced by our customers, by the customer influence requests they post into our customer portal. We captured this year, 2020, more than 1,300 votes. It's basically individual customer influence ideas coming from customers and partners vote for those. And in total, we have 1,300, more than 1,300 votes, ideas delivered this year. And you see also the strong focus again for product-centric capabilities. At the same time, we try not to neglect where we are coming from. So the service-centric is, of course, still playing a vital role here. And the cross capabilities, which are agnostic from the industry focus, have also got their fair share of the delivery. But the direction is very clear, and we treat our roadmaps as promises to the customer. So this is now the April roadmap we published in April 2020. Just to give you a feeling how much of that has been delivered, the greenish parts here is basically the things that we delivered already, even before the initial promise date. Some things might get dropped, and that's the usual pattern. We cannot always guarantee that we deliver everything which is on the roadmap, but we really take this serious and deliver as much as possible. So what did we do for product-centric businesses? What is our perception? Well, many businesses in the world now say, well, our cloud ERP is the trusted operation source and operation system for production and delivery, for logistics and manufacturing. And what they learned not only in times of COVID is that agility and transparency is decisive in that business. Reliability, you don't need to debate about. It needs to be 100% there. But while doing it, you need to be very flexible and very transparent to adjust. And it's basically an ocean of requirements that we see here. You see, starting from the purchase orders, advice delivery, received items, component inventory, component availability, rescheduling of production orders, and all the way then to the shipping notification and to the available to promise and simulation of that. Well, it's hard to go where to start here basically. And what we did is we listened to you, our customers and partners, and this is basically all the customer influences that we have been associating here. And as you can see, this is also our mission to deliver them. We need to decide what is the biggest effort, what can we deliver quicker, and what needs to wait a bit longer. But you see it by the overall number of votes. This is basically our list of fame, our proud list, where we really can say we've been investing significantly and we will continue into that. Let me give you a couple of insights and examples. In terms of advanced visibility for purchasing, production, and warehouse management, my favorite report is the order fulfillment report, which gives you a visibility regarding on time and in full delivery to all of your customers. And what you can do there is basically to easily slice and dice and also to report on the number of customers and the delivery accuracy. And if you meet a certain threshold, or if you are below a certain threshold, you can use that and also to your communication to your customers. And that is only possible because we are an integrated cloud ERP solution, where the logistics is in the same system, also with the customer communication with the CRM system. So those reports can then be used also to create a target group out of that, and then to communicate openly to the customers. They will be understanding, because we are all in trouble sometimes. Sometimes some things go wrong, but it's important to be transparent and to share that transparency also with your customers. Agility in terms of production orders is of course also key. Abilities to reschedule and to simplify your execution is a mandatory feature. We've been delivering that in one of our recent releases in 2020 as well. Now a bit into the convergence of product and service-centric businesses. Two examples I would like to give you. If you have a service business, you maintain your machinery you've been selling to the customers, you need to ensure that if you are executing those services on the machines, that the spare parts are there. And you want to deliver those spare parts also from the third-party logistics provider. That's the combination of selling materials, big machinery, in combination with services and also with the spare parts which are needed for the services. And another example is to doing the very same also for project stock. So we might be setting up a project, and before you execute the project, the materials need to be on site and they need to be delivered, pre-delivered from a third-party logistics provider. And this is what ByDesign can do. And this is why we are also proudly saying we can really handle the convergence between service and product-centric businesses. A long-wished capability, which probably is rather minor, or it seems to be minor, is the ability to extend also employee timesheets and also to have it end-to-end. And that's a quality ByDesign can do. If you're going for extension, it's always an extension scenario which starts from the starting point where you enter the data until the reports. So you always have the full enchilada with your extensibility. And this is now also available for time recording Another example for time recording and for the service-centric business is then also the ability to control what are the remaining hours of a purchase order, and also to control the time recording based on that. In the CRM, one of my favorites is, of course, we've been investing also into analytics again. Here it is the ability to analyze all sales documents, from the sales quote, the sales order, to the contract, to the customer invoice, with and without freight. Again, a capability you could attribute to product-centric businesses, but very often it's also relevant for service-centric businesses where you have the freight cost and you want to really calculate what you have been selling without the freight cost. And this is now possible in all of our reports. So we did it just in some area in one standard report. No, it's really now from quote to customer invoice available. You are all aware about our intelligent price engine. So we have a rule engine which determines the prices, and that leads to very often to situations that our customers have extremely large price lists. And now with our newest capabilities, we are also able to consume those price lists externally, even in a high volume case. So that is something like an enhancement we did also in the recent releases. And one of my favorite topics, again, mobility. You are aware our mobile apps are available all over the place, and they are now also supporting the approval of customer invoices and credit memos. We had sales orders, customer quotes, time recordings, shopping carts, leave requests. All of this is available, and now also highly wished by many customers and customer influencers. We have it also now for invoices and credit memos. And you are buying ByDesign because it has a global reach. You are not buying it because you can run it only in one country. You have the idea to grow in various countries. And one of the most remarkable steps forward here is now the support for South Korea. And at the same time, we keep all other markets and country support up to date, and consistently and continuously invest into countries like India, Italy, Japan, Mexico, and. So now let's have a look into our new roadmap. Probably you have a clear understanding how important customer influence is for the roadmap. You could say everything underneath the waterline of the iceberg is customer influence, and then we populate basically our roadmap coming from the customer influences. That's why it's so important that you vote and have a look into the customer influence, because you can really determine the direction. The roadmap is basically your roadmap. It's in your hands, and we are compiling then a new roadmap out of the customer influences. Our new direction is the same actually as in April. We did not change a lot here. So logistics and production is our focus area. We call this the product-centric industries. That's where we can grow the most, and that's why we focus here on that the most. And now let's have a look into our business scenarios and the highlights that we have here. As mentioned, product-centric industry is the key focus area. We will not neglect the service-centric businesses. And if you want me to highlight a couple of the most important enhancements that we are working on, customer consignment is one of those topics which will be having a bigger impact, and it's also a bigger investment for us. We will also focus on topics like purchase price flexibility and active budget control. We think about also adding things that we started. One of the innovations of the last year was the IFRS 16 lease accounting capability, and we learned and got feedback from you that we need to go a bit further, and that's why we have put this extended lease accounting lifecycle also on our roadmap. Remarkable is also our investment into intelligent enterprise. We will continue investment into the intelligent supplier invoice scan, but we will also introduce other areas. And one of the very interesting areas to look at is definitely here the mobile expense report, intelligent mobile expense report scanning. You know that we have the mobile expense reporting available, but we want to associate it also with OCR character recognition. And remarkable is also what we see here with the robotic process automation workbench and the predictive analytics workbench, which might be coming up soon. And as mentioned, we will not neglect the capabilities we recently developed. So the intelligent supplier invoice scanning will also get additional capabilities. Remarkable also is our investment into collaboration. You see this depicted here. That's basically the integration into the collaboration suites in the world, namely Microsoft Office. And well, the tool that we are all using since COVID latest is Microsoft Teams. And we are thinking about introducing very soon an app which will allow you to consume ByDesign in your Microsoft Teams environment. And just to depict that a bit, what is the challenge? Well, the cloud ERP is in the heart of your enterprise. And if you look at Microsoft, they have a clear understanding that more and more people are using social media tools. People use multiple devices. They have a very diverse setup, not only globally, but also, let's say, 5 generations working together. And well, many people working remotely. This is nothing like a new thing, a new trend. COVID made, well, basically underlined that only. So we have to cater for all of this. We are delivering the information and want to enable collaboration using those tools. And if you look here about the stellar growth we see with Microsoft Teams, they have nowadays, in October 2020, they had 150 million daily users using Microsoft Teams. Probably it's understandable that we will first focus on the Microsoft technologies that are available. As usual, we have a roadmap also for legal localization and languages. So that's basically the legal part of our work. And also remarkable is what our customers plan to deliver in the very near future. So there are lots of interesting things. Have a look into our App Center. There you find the standardized add-ons that many partners deliver. And here is basically what you will see in the future. So that basically concludes my outlook. Let me summarize. ByDesign is the cloud ERP for any quickly growing enterprise. It's the suite which allows you to analyze, plan, purchase, produce, store, sell, execute, service, invoice, deliver. And you can do this also in times of physical and global distance. You can go live, you can sign the project, and you can execute without having a person on site, and also there is no people on site needed which run your software and keep it alive. ByDesign is also the solution which allows you to run your business globally. So that's probably one of the decisive points when you invest into ByDesign. You have a global strategy. You have multiple companies around the globe which you want to run with the same business operating system. And ByDesign is the solution which allows you to grow sustainable. The data centers of SAP are greenhouse gas zero since 2014 already, and SAP as a company plans to be on zero greenhouse gas emission by 2025. So that is basically giving you the security that you are investing into a platform which is sustainable. And it's basically important for us and for the future generations coming after us. I hope you like what you've seen and stay tuned for more videos.